Guys, what is going on? I got a little story time for you. I think you're going to find this very interesting. Bear with me. Listen to the details of this. Maybe a little bit different from what you're thinking, but at any rate, I think this is a good story time story. So, the only drug that I ever did, and it was pretty amazing. I'm not going to lie about it. It was pretty amazing. Didn't know what it was when I did it. Tell you what the effects felt like. Tell you, when I found out what it was. And let's just go ahead and go through this. When I get a cold or I get the flu, I get it hard. Ever since I've been a little kid, I get a cold or a flu hard. Like to the point where even if I have a cold, there will be a couple of days of work I have to miss. I'll be out of commission, in bed. It just really gets me on its peak. So when I was about 13 or 14 years old, probably between 13 and 15, I was staying at my friend's house, and my friend's mom is a nurse. And she'd been a nurse for years. And I had it bad, but I was still staying there. I used to stay there all the time, and I had a really bad cold. To the point where it was like the only way I felt like I could breathe, like where my nose and sinuses was clear to sit up. It's very suffering situation, you know what I mean? But it's really nothing more than a common cold. It was just at its peak. So she's seeing how terrible it is and what I'm going through. And she says, okay, come here. She says, I have something I'm going to give you. It'll really help you out. And I said, okay. I go into the kitchen, I believe it was. And I see her have this brown bottle. It's about this tall. Doesn't look like anything you'd see at a store anywhere. And I can see the label's real weird. Like the label is white, and it looks like somebody used a typewriter and wrote the words that's on this bottle. And it's got a white cap on the top, and it's like this brown color, like something I've never seen at the store before. And she said, this will help you out. And I said, okay. So I can't remember how much of it I took, maybe a couple of teaspoons full or a tablespoonful, but she held the bottle and she poured it on the spoon, and I took, like I said, I can't remember, 2 teaspoons full or whatever. So I just take it and that's it, I'm used to taking NyQuil or whatever, and I'm like, okay, this must be something like that, but a little bit stronger. So a little bit later on, I'm in a room watching TV, and all of a sudden, even though I'm sick, I feel so good. Now, I'm going to tell you what this was, so hang with me, okay? I'm feeling so good. Like what, I wouldn't know how to describe it then, but what I would describe now is euphoria, is what I was feeling. I felt like at ease. I just felt good. I was relaxed. I mean, I was just feeling tired and relaxed and just feeling well, even with the sickness that's going on here, The next day, I get up and I'm still pretty sick. And that evening, the nurse, my friend's mom, she gives this to me again. A couple teaspoons full, whatever it was, a couple tablespoons, I don't remember. She gives this to me again, and I remember I was thinking, I don't even know what this is. But I'm thinking, I'm thinking, let's do this. I'm going to feel good again. I'm going to feel better. These effects are going to feel better. So the second day I take it, I don't remember what I was doing, probably just trying to relax and sit somewhere. And I remember again, just feeling like at ease. Just feeling like what I said you could now describe as euphoria that I wouldn't really have known how to describe at that time. Even though I'm sick, feeling better than I did when I'm well, that's what I remember. Even though I was sick, I felt better than when I was well, when I took this. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it and something funny, but, so let me go ahead and tell you what it was. It was codeine cough syrup that was prescribed to somebody else. She knew there was no harm in giving it to me. And she knew the dosage to give me. She's a nurse. I'd grown up with these people. They knew about my life, and different things. And so, she gave me the medicine, and it did help me. It was cough syrup with codeine. You can look up codeine. Codeine is an opioid. I didn't learn until later in life. I never forgot. There was probably a couple, maybe 1 to 2 other times after that in my whole life I've had it and it was there. Maybe just 1 other time, but no more than 2 other times did I have that in my life. So being from 13 to 15 in that age range. But any time that I had it, it was there. And I never had access to the bottle. I don't know where it was kept. I never even got to touch the bottle. It was administered to a spoon that I put in my mouth. Let's go back to when I didn't know what it was. This was making me feel good and feel better and really helping with the sickness. So the third day, okay, I had already been off. I'm over the peak. I'm over the peak. So I'll never forget. I still had a lingering cough. And my friend's mom, I was like in a living room, and his mom and his dad were in another room. We had like a room beside the living room. We had like, what can I think of the name of this? We had Nintendo and different video games in there, and a TV, and then adjoined to that was a living room where his mom and dad would be. So I remember I went around through the kitchen, and I went to the living room, and I was so nervous. And this is what I said. I walked into the room and I said, I think I need just a little bit more of that medicine and then I'll be okay. She looked at me and she said, no, you don't need any more. You're okay now. You're over the hump. You're over the peak. And, you can take some NyQuil or something like that, or this other stuff we have, Robitussin. She said, but that stuff's done. And I never forgot. And at this time, I still didn't know. I didn't ask her what it was. I didn't even know there were such things as like opioids and things in medication and things at that time, at that age. I didn't even really have any idea. I was kind of clueless to all this. Like, I didn't think there would be a syrup that you could take for colds that had an opioid in it. I didn't know nothing about this. I thought this is just a strong version of NyQuil that the doctor gives you. So later in life, remembering this and telling people about it as I got older and stuff, and would be having beers or drinking with people after I was over 21 at that time, I would be drinking or whatever, and I'd be telling people about this, and they're like, yeah, dude, they're like, yeah, what you was taking was cough syrup with codeine, the brown bottle from the doctor, the label with the typed in letters, that's what the doctor does for a prescription, and that's what you were taking. So I started doing research on codeine. And I found out there's a big thing with people buying, purchasing, and using and selling codeine, just to take when you're not sick. There's a big market for it. There's rap songs that were made about it. Sipping on Some Syrup is one of them. I can't remember the name of the song, but there's a famous rap song that came out some years ago. And I remember laughing like crazy when I watched the song, Sipping on Some Scissorp. And I remember I was just cracking up, and I was like, I know what this is. I was like, I was a kid, but I know what this is. I never ever in my life took it again. The maximum age I took it at, the ages I took it at was between 13 to 15, and it was administered to me by a nurse, but it wasn't prescribed to me. But after the age of 15, I never ever again had anything with codeine or any cough syrup with codeine or anything, period. As far as drugs or anything, that codeine and that cough syrup is the only thing I've ever had. And like I said, don't think I'm promoting it by doing this video, but it really, because I think what happens is when people start to, like, when you go from taking it for medicine and it makes you feel good, pretty soon you're going to need more and more, and pretty soon you're going to take such high doses that it's going to have adverse effects on you, and it's going to start to affect your life, just like any other, thing would. So don't think I'm promoting taking codeine, but I just got to say, I'm not going to lie about it. When I took it for my sickness, it was pretty amazing. Guys, I just want to make one final point here. Can you imagine how powerful a drug has to be, prescription or not, that something I took when I was 13 years old that is prescribed had such an effect on me that still to this day, I remember how I felt and how good and how euphoric it was to be on it. I mean, it's just, it's mind-blowing that there's things out there. No wonder people get hooked on things and can't stop. And they know people that they hang around people that use things, and they know people that have it all the time for sale. No wonder it's so easy for people to get addicted and just keep using it until it overtakes them. I just don't know what it will, I just don't really know any other way to explain it. Something when I was 13 years old could have that profound of an impact on me by what it did to me, and how I thought it felt good, that I still remember it, crystal clear, still to this day. That's my story, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've ever had anything with codeine in it. I don't know if it comes in anything other than the syrup, that it was in. But if you've ever had it, let me know what your thoughts are on codeine, because I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of okay. Sipping on some scissor. All right, guys. I can't believe I'm singing that. Until next time, guys, this is DOF. Hope you have a great day, and I'm out.